The performance of the South Vietnamese military during the Tet Offensive is extremely significant because the communists attacked believing that by entering the cities that they would spark this national uprising, and that this national uprising would do two things. It would cause the South Vietnamese military to desert and to crumble, and they would then force this coalition government and kick the Americans out, and they would then be able to reunify the country. But what happened is two things. The South Vietnamese military stood and fought, and in fact counterattacked. And the second thing is the South Vietnamese civilian population, although initially frightened, as they would be by a major attack, did not rally to the North Vietnamese. In fact, they helped the South Vietnamese military by pointing out hiding places, by carrying their wounded off, and a host of other things. So you have to look at it as not only did the South Vietnamese military not crack and desert like the communists thought, but that the South Vietnamese population did not also join and demand a coalition government.
While I was in the States, I watched what was happening on a daily basis and was fastened to the TV watching the Tet Offensive on the nightly news. I saw places and people that I knew, battalions that I served in action, and was proud with what they had accomplished, defeating the uprising and crushing the VC infrastructure. I was elated of how ARVN accounted for themselves, and at the same time dismayed by the news painting a picture of how the war was being lost and the influence of how newscasts were distorting the war effort. For me, it was shameful reporting.
When Walter Cronkite said that we lost in Tet of '68, and when I got there, they let us know that during Tet of '68, we virtually wiped out the Viet Cong. You will not be facing Viet Cong when you're here. Maybe one or two. That was the good news. The bad news was they were replaced by North Vietnamese regulars who were much better supplied and better trained. So it was tougher.